Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today what I want to talk about is, did I lose muscle if I'm not as strong? So hey guys, hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. Steve Bogren coming to you from 32 years of age now. Hope everyone's Memorial Day weekend was wonderful. Hope your week back to work is going real well for you. But, here's a question that I think I get a lot of the time after people come back from vacation. So maybe you went off on vacation, maybe you traveled, maybe you didn't hit the gym for a week or two, maybe you came back to the gym and you're like, oh shit, I lost muscle, I'm not as strong, I'm not as strong as I used to be. And so I think it makes sense to talk about this because it's definitely one of those things that can get in your head, make you feel like something's off, make you feel like maybe even something's wrong with you, and it can really get you down in the dumps. So let's talk about, kind of how it works with strength and muscle mass and all those other good things. We'll talk about the different kinds of hypertrophy and we'll talk about it, right? So, boom, first and foremost, I want to talk about what happens when you first start lifting, right? Because when you first start lifting, you get really strong really fast. And I think that's the best way to kind of help explain what's happening when you stop lifting, right? So, first and foremost, if you stop lifting for about a week or more, a week to 2 weeks, that's typically when you're going to start seeing detriments or decreases in strength for most of us. Obviously, there's some people that are just crazy, strong, whatever it might be, and then you kind of get away with some things that, the normal folks like you or myself might not get away with. What we call that is neuromuscular adaptation. Just means that your body's getting better at doing the movements. It's getting better at recruiting the bigger muscle fibers first, right? So it's just becoming more efficient. So let's say, if you're a terrible swimmer like me, you're like, blah, 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 right? But if you're a good swimmer, you're nice and efficient, you go a lot faster, you use less energy. Kind of think of it in those kind of terms. You're learning the movements, you're learning how to perform them, you're learning how to perform them well. And your body is also learning how to perform them. So that is what we call neuromuscular adaptation. Now, it gets very complex down in there, but think of it like this. Strength, it's not only having muscle, but it's also a skill. So it's your central nervous system's ability to handle the fatigue of putting heavy weight on your back for a squat, or, keeping your posture for a deadlift or grip or whatever it might be, So it's not only learning the movement, performing the movement well, but your central nervous system's ability to withstand the fatigue of doing those heavy movements, of having heavy weight on your back, things like that, right? So strength, yes, the amount of muscle you have can matter. Absolutely, you are correct. A bigger muscle is typically a stronger muscle, all else equal. However, all else is very rarely equal. So we want to talk about that neuromuscular adaptation in terms of what we're seeing and typically why we're probably going to lose strength after that amount of time. Okay? The other thing that we want to talk about is hypertrophy of the muscle, right? So we have the hypertrophy of the fluid-filled space around the muscle, which is typically like the hypertrophy ranges, right? That's why people like to call them beach muscles, right? You got these big, strong-looking muscles, but you're not really as strong as people might expect you to be, right? Then you have actual myofibrillar hypertrophy. Big words, I'm sorry, I'm going to try and stop using them. Trust me, stick with it, okay? That's the actual muscle fiber itself. That's what actually moves the weight, creates force, does all the stuff, okay? So, yes, a bigger muscle is typically a stronger muscle, all else equal. Now, you have to get through some of those neuromuscular adaptations before we ever get to actual hypertrophy of the muscle fibers, right? Before we ever actually get to hypertrophy of the muscle, we have to go through the neuromuscular adaptation. That's when we start putting more stress on the muscle. Yes, we're still doing damage, but that's when the adaptation period to muscle really starts. So if you've never lifted before, if you've been off from lifting for a very long time, you're going to have probably 8 weeks or so, if not a little bit longer, of that neuromuscular where you're getting used to the movement, you're getting used to doing them safe. We're being smart about your programming and keeping it light, right? Percentage-based programming, probably not a great idea. You're going to blow it out of the water. You're going to progress past it real quick, okay? But once that period's done, that's when we can start actually changing the muscle. Sorry, I'm small, guys. I've been working on it for a long time. It's not going so well. But, woo, hurts. So, when we take some time off from the gym, I'm talking maybe 2-3 weeks, we're not going to see a huge decrement in the actual muscle hypertrophy, right? You might get a little bit flat, maybe glycogen stores go down, but you're not really losing muscle, okay? You're losing strength. You're losing those neuromuscular adaptations, your ability, your skill of lifting weights. That's what you're losing. The body is sort of getting used to doing other things, and we're having to then go back into the gym and reacclimate to that, right? So it might take you a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It really depends how long you've been off, what level of lifting you're at, how hard you're pushing yourself, and a slew of other factors as well, right? I would love to be like, there's just one answer, but as with most things, it depends. It depends on you as an individual, your specific situation, your genetics, your experience, and a lot of other things, right? So, I think the big point is you do not want to get discouraged when you come back to the gym after some time off and you're not feeling as strong. That's actually pretty damn normal and to be expected, right? So, remember, you're not losing muscle. Unless you've taken, 5, 6, 7 months off, 2-3 months off maybe, you're not really losing muscle. You can get away from it for a while and still be pretty okay. Now, what about the other thing? What about that muscle memory? So, muscle memory, the best way I can explain it is that when you're doing the actual muscle building stuff, right? What happens is separate, like satellite cells come in and they become muscle cells, right? When you stop, they kind of like, all right, I'm going to sleep now. I'm taking a nap. So while they're taking a nap, the area that they typically tend to is unattended. So it goes, right? But if you wake them back up, pop back open, that area is now attended to, right? So they take each nucleus within a muscle cell takes up a certain space, okay? More nuclei means it can take up more space. When nuclei become dormant, less space. That's the idea, from my understanding, of muscle memory. But at the end of the day, guys, there's nothing wrong with taking time off from the gym. There's nothing wrong with prioritizing other things in life. There's nothing wrong with doing what you need to do, taking a vacation, enjoying a cruise, honeymoons, whatever it might be that's going on in your life. However, just know and expect that strength will be affected. Depending how long you've been off, you might lose some muscle if you've been off for an extended period of time. But those shorter breaks where strength might be affected doesn't necessarily mean that you've lost muscle. So, get out of your own heads. Remember, it's a lifetime achievement that we're going for. Like bodybuilding, physique sports, it's a consistent lifestyle thing. It's never done overnight. There's never even an end point on this journey. So, like I said, if you're getting out from the gym for a while and you're just trying to get back in, it's to be expected. Take it easy. Don't make poor decisions. Keep your health, your safety at the forefront of your mind. Knock the weights down, lift with your body, not with your ego, and that's going to put you in a great place. So that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of it, and I'll talk to you soon.